Bro, blood, did you see that? Oh my days. Yes, another week, another chatterbox. My name's Dan, and obviously we got a full house. I'm loving the attendance, just continuing to stay at 100%, boys. First of all, we got your boy P.
Yeah.
It's the brother Sean.
Yo, what's up, people?
The ladies love Andre.
Good day.
Come on, it's the bad man. It's the real time OG. Heck, what's going on, Des?
Yeah, present, sir.
I love the respect, my G. That's how OGs get about round here. You know what I mean? Anyway, Chatterbox is happening. Oh my days. Has it already come to the end of Lovecraft Country? For those who don't know, Lovecraft Country follows Atticus Freeman as he joins up with his friend Letitia and his uncle George to embark on a road trip across 1950s Jim Crow America in search of his missing father. This begins a struggle to survive and overcome both the racist terrors of white America and the terrifying monsters that could be ripped from a Lovecraft paperback. Oh my days, I love this show. I honestly, every week, as soon as it come out, I was dying to watch it, but I did what I love to do, and I held them all up, and I watched them all in a long run together, and wow, that was the best all-nighter I've pulled in a long time. This show was so good. Just everything from the characters, from quality of the cinematography to the acting to the story, just everything. Oh my! And every episode, every scene had something new that was there to excite me, interest me, and make me go, "Whoa, blood! Did you see that? Oh my days!" I haven't said that many times in a one sitting since kidulthood and adulthood. You know, it's a madness. Trust me. Maybe Gangs of London. Anyway, you know how many stars I'm going to be giving this one already. I don't want to tell you guys too much about it. I want to hear from the guys about the season finale. Was this episode a hit or a miss for you guys?
Hey, you know what? I have to say this was a hit. It had me buzzing straight to the end. It was a hit for me.
Yeah, I've got to follow up on that. And as usual, Lovecraft didn't fail to deliver. I think they executed everything really, really well. The production, the screenplay, everything, the story, it was just like amazing from beginning to end. So yeah, definitely a hit for me.
Yeah, I loved it. It was a hit. I enjoyed it. Every episode was good for me. Well, from good to excellent. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, for me, I definitely got to roll with everybody else, man. This was definitely a hit. This was bizarre. I'm talking like, oh my gosh, unpredictable, bizarre. It was crazy. I didn't know what was going to be happening next. Totally unexpected as well. Never seen anything like it in my life. Do I want to see something like that again? I probably would, but this was like off the hook. Crazy.
Yeah, man. Off the easy. It was something special. Now, the final episode was full of ups and downs. What were your favorite moments in that final episode?
My favorite moment was when Christine got killed by Diane. Well, she got choked to death, like with Diane's robotic arm. Like that was lovely. That was beautiful. I also did like when they were singing in the truck, because it was like they were going to their doom, but they had a little lightness before, the end.
Do you know, I can't even decide what my favorite moments in that episode were. It's crazy. Also, I think a bit like you, Sean, I kind of watched a few of the episodes all together. So they kind of blurred all into one now. And I'm in this like beautiful honeymoon phase of like, do you remember this? Do you remember that? Just talking to myself about it because no one in my house watched it. So I'm so glad to hear you guys talking about your favorite bits and what you enjoyed from the film. Now, Elizabeth Debicki was originally cast as Christina Braithwaite, but had to drop out due to scheduling conflict with Tenet. This role went to the amazing Abby Lee. How was her performance in the finale? And were there any other standout characters in the finale for you guys?
Abby Lee, for me, excellent throughout the whole series, in my opinion. You know, she was cool but fierce, you know, and that, I always think that's an intriguing contrast. It's a hard thing to explain, but she almost didn't look human, in my opinion. I think she executed the role of a villain really well. You know, the relationships, it was kind of like a love-hate relationship that she had going on with Atticus. This whole show, she's delivered.
For me, that Christine she was scary. You saw her; she was always calm. It seemed as though nothing really fazed her, and she just walked into that role. You know, she had a presence anyway. And even though she wasn't always on the screen. When she got on the screen, it's kind of like stop and take notice. I command whatever's going on in here. I hold the cards, and I'm going to show you what cards I'm playing if I want you to. You know, she scared me. She scared me, man. I didn't want to be anywhere near her. But she had that kind of a alluring feel because she could pull you in. And it's like, because she pulled in all them other characters as well. And once she pull you in, man, it's like the Black Widow spider. You know, if I'm going to let you go, I'm going to let you go. So for me, it's kind of like you keep her at bay. Definitely. But she did a convincing role for me as Christine.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on Christina. There's like, oh my days, she brought people in, she brought the character to life, like more so than I think many other actresses could. And speaking of actresses, my favorite actress of the whole season had to be Journey Smollett. Absolutely fantastic performance, and I just can't wait to see what she's working on next, to be honest. I pray that it's the next season of Lovecraft Country, but maybe there's a few other projects in line for her. Now, one of the characters we may or may not be seeing in season 2 is our leading protagonist, Tick or Atticus, played by Jonathan Majors. Now, I don't really want to give away a spoiler, but he died in the season finale. So there's your spoiler. What did you think of the death, and was it earned?
I definitely think it was earned. There was always a sense of doom from the first episode with Atticus. He just seemed like a doomed character. And props to Jonathan Majors, like, because he was excellent in the role and always crying about something because everything was coming at him or coming at the character. I think the death scene was great. I think it was brutal, like ripping into him and the blood coming out. And the performance from Montrose, like when he's trying to get his son, you know, to wake up. I was talking with my mum and she was saying, yeah, he's going to come back. I just assume he's going to come back. And I was saying, no, but he's dead. But with these type of shows, he can obviously come back. But I'm in two minds with that. I liked that he died. I liked the ending. Jonathan Majors is going to move on to bigger things. Well, maybe not bigger things, but other new things. So I'm not sure if I want him back, but if he does come back, I won't say, oh, this is horrible. So yeah, it was a good scene.
Yeah, it was a good scene. Well, I think it was a great scene. I thought they must have spent a lot of time thinking about how that was going to look to the audience. And to the people who did it, good job to you guys, man, because I enjoyed it and I think you've done a great job. Now, there were so many different themes in Lovecraft. One of the themes was the exploration of relationships. What relationships stood out for you guys?
Two sets of relationships that stood out for me. It was Ruby and Christina, but the one that stood out mainly for me was Atticus and Montrose, the father and son relationship, the dynamics, and pushed the narrative forward. And it allows you to relate. Quite intriguing to see how he loved his parents. There was this love-hate annoyance going on, and it was very intriguing.
Yeah, relationships, man. Oh, that was deep. There was a lot going on. Never two people in a relationship, always 3+. But for me, what stood out was Ruby and her sister Letty. You talked about a love-hate relationship. They definitely had a love-hate relationship going on. Letty explained why she wasn't around at certain times, and you know, Ruby wasn't accepting it. They clearly loved each other, and Letty would do anything for her family if she could, which she proved to do. Their relationship was just in turmoil constantly. When they had that fight at the finale, they had that fight, and it was a really good punch up. And it was almost as though Letty would say, you know what, this is all the hate that I've got for you. And while Ruby was, Ruby was, she was possessed by Christine at the time as well. And it was all that battle of, you know what, I've got to win. I love you, I hate you, are you my sister, are you not my sister, what's going on? There was so much being unraveled there. I mean, the relationships was so complicated.
That's really interesting. There's a few facts there, Des, that you've pulled out that many people probably don't even know. And thinking about the story throughout the whole of just season one, was there anything specific that you would change? And if so, why?
If I was going to pick one thing that I would have to change, it would definitely have to be episode 7 for me. I think it was a little bit too wild for me, and it hopped all over the place, which left me spending a lot of my time trying to connect the dots rather than continuing experience that I was getting through watching the show itself. Yeah, I mean, I understand that they wanted to open the door to time travel in the build-up, to the whole Tulsa event. The episode itself was just a little bit too much. I don't know. Well, maybe you guys have a different opinion on it, but for me, that would have been probably the one thing.
The only thing I didn't really see much of is, I know our folks, black people, back in them days, man, we love the church. We go into the church. All right, there was a couple of scenes where individuals were going into the church, but there wasn't never a congregation going into the church and actually praising God. That's why there was so much evil and devil and all that kind of crap about the place, man. These people needed to go to church. They need to get down on their knees and pray a little bit and maybe have that good versus evil kind of battle. But other than that, too much was going on, and they just put in everything. It's like a pot of cook-up rice, because I call it like a Guyanese dish, man. We cook up rice, we throw in all meat and veg and peas and everything, man. And you get what you get out of it, and it tastes nice. And this is what it was all about anyway. So there was a lot in it. I understand that it's similar to True Blood. I've never seen True Blood before, so I can't even make a comparison. One of the things that got me as well is the music that they used throughout the whole series. One time it was hip hop, when it was like in the 1960s. Another time it was nice jazz music for the era. Another time it was just various types of music that I'm trying to think of exactly what genre of music they were playing, but it was apt at the time as well. But they went through like a whole decade, several decades of music. And I thought, it's quite interesting how they brought everything together. But again, it's so bizarre that anything could have fitted in anywhere. So they could have just thrown it in there and that would have been it.
Wow, Des, man, you took me on a journey in your answer, bro. I get what you're saying, though, man. Definitely. Like, it was a crazy show. The whole season took me so many places. What could you add?
What's this thing? What's up with this guy, man?
That was a journey. He asked you what we changed different, and he went everywhere.
Yeah, I hear you. There was a lot going on in that season. Like it took us everywhere. Like your answer, it took us on a journey, and there were some interesting scenes. I'm guessing the reason why you want a bit of church in there is because you want to repent from some of that. You know that scene where she's like laying down and the guy's on top, and then the thing comes out of her, and then it goes in the booty. They had a lot of things about things going in people's booties. That was a bit mad, but like, the whole thing, and then like I'm thinking to myself, I'm enjoying this. Like you get scared like watching this. Oh, bro, honestly, it was madness. But the series, it couldn't be confined into any particular genre. Like, like I just said, it takes you on a journey. It basically was like a hybrid of loads of different genres: horror, fantasy, sci-fi, drama, romance. There was an exploration of racial issues, reference to the Tulsa Race Massacre, and even the Korean War, which aren't usually discussed in mainstream media. Was there too much cramped into this series, or did it work for you guys?
I thought it worked perfectly. I saw this series as an education. It taught me so much, and it allowed me to explore so much. The only genre I don't think it covered in this was the Western, but it actually went into so many different angles, so many different pathways. I loved it. Wow.
To answer your question, yes, to both of them. Yes, they did cram too much into it, but yes, I felt it worked. I just feel like this is a show where they just said, you know what, we're going to go for it. So we're just going to put everything we want to put in this first season. We don't know what's going to happen after this. like, and just make it interesting, make it topical, make it entertaining, and it all worked for me. I loved it.
Now, there were a lot of experiences in this. We've mentioned a few of them, like Andre was saying before with his answer, but like I felt like when I got to episode 5, nothing's going to surprise me in this. Surely there's not anything else they can do. There's still another 5 episodes to go. And there was a major catfishing component in that episode 5 that left me gobsmacked. What episodes stood out for you guys and why?
The transformation effects in this was unreal. When Ruby was turning back into herself from the white woman that she turned into, after having sex with Christina, I thought that was mad. That was crazy. The way like all the blood and skin was falling off of her. Like I've never seen anything like it. I mean, apart from watching it in like a horror film, I just thought that was mad. And like, how did they do that? Like the effort put into this show was just like off the chart. I think that was one of the things. It had a great story as well about the different experiences of living in America, being black versus being white. I thought that was another thing that they captured in that episode. The ending scene, I don't know if you guys remember it because it was a little while ago now, but oh my God, I can't look at another stiletto without clenching my bum cheeks. Like, it's mad. That was just mad. I was looking at it, I was like, how can they actually put this on telly? Like, is this allowed?
Okay, so I'm gonna cheat. I got 2 because I couldn't pick between them. So one was episode 6, was Meet Me in Daegu, the episode set in Korea, where with Jai was introduced. I just think that was a beautiful episode. Like, it was like a little one-off episode, like focused on a character that hasn't been really introduced properly. So I thought that was wonderful. Like everything that happened with it between her and Atticus. Like, I think the scenes were great. Jamie Chung, who played Gia, she was great, beautiful and talented actress. Like, I think that was great. The second episode was episode 9, Rewind 1921, which was when they went back in time to the Tulsa riots. I think that was a well-directed episode. Like the scenery was great, like all the people in their lovely suits, like the town, and then obviously the horror that happened afterwards. And Montrose, like his character was just great. Like the heartbreak of his character about what happens with his father. Like the relationship with his father, like his father just beat him and like was trying to get he had to take away all the soft parts from him to be a man, he said. Like I think he's a great character, and that was just excellent. Like, and him and like Atticus, like when they were talking to each other, and then with the bat situation where he's the mysterious stranger, Atticus. Like, I just think those 2 episodes were my favorites. They stood out for me.
Boy, I've not really heard any of you say a bad word about this, except that obviously there wasn't enough church, but I think that's something to do with you needing to repent, brother. Come on. Anyway, the important question, the most important question of the night, the most important question of every show. How many stars are you giving it, boys?
Five stars. 5.
You know what? I was gonna go with 4.5, but then you said, Dan, you said nobody said anything bad about it. Oh, I didn't say anything bad about it. So you know what? I'm just gonna give it 5 stars.
Yeah, I would have given it 5 stars because I'm not gonna lie. I fully agree with these 2 that there wasn't really anything to fault, but the question was asked, and if I was gonna fault anything, it would have been that episode 7 where they went too much into the whole time and space thing for me, which didn't quite work 100%, even though it was really good. So yeah, I'll say 4.5 stars.
Yeah, it has to be 5 star for me. I can't think of what else needs to be in there besides church to give it that 5. It just touches the 5 star, and that's all it needs to do. Right at the point of that particular 5, the 5th star is right there, just about touching it. You know, it could have gone into another universe if it came up with some other different stuff, man. But I don't know what different stuff it could have come up with, but it's definitely there. 5 stars for me.
5 stars all around except Sean. Yeah, I'm with you guys. Like, obviously, 5 stars. This is one of the best shows that has come to television or the internet or something that I've been able to watch this year. I don't really know where I've watched half of things. Most of it's been on my mobile. Some of it's been on tablets and screens and other places. But this is one thing I will remember that I watched a lot of. I watched back episodes. I rewound little bits. I really enjoyed this show. And as you can tell from this review, the team have reviewed it as well. Now, we really want to hear what you guys have to say. We know there's been a lot of buzz about the season finale, about what to expect next. The forums and Reddit are buzzing with people excited to see what the scriptwriters are going to do if they get that money to put on a season 2. So let us know what you're thinking. Make sure you hit us up on the socials. And before you leave YouTube, don't forget the subscribe button. And the little bell next to it means you get a notification every time we upload one of our sick videos. My name's Dan. This is Chatterbox. Obviously, we got the full team. It's your boy P. The brother Sean.
Peace.
The ladies love Andre.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
And obviously, it's the OG, the man we touch some respect on the top lip. Come on, OG Des.
Yes. All right.
It's real. It's real. Oh, no. Peace out, people.
Oh.